Domuz taklimatıyla Kazazede'ye ulaşıldı. Kazazede'nin yanında kültürel varlık olduğu değerlendirilen bir tabloya ulaştık. Bunun için de bir tane koruma uzmanına ihtiyacımız var.
Cultural heritage is not merely a memory of the past. It is the conscience of the future. Before disasters can erase this memory, we must be prepared. Supported by the European Union's Civil Protection Mechanism and coordinated by the Presidency of AFAD and the Ministry of Culture and Tourism of Turkey, the ProcultherNet2 Project was launched with this very objective: to enhance the protection of cultural heritage against disasters and to strengthen emergency response capacity. The ProcultherNet2 Project was designed to raise awareness on the protection of cultural assets at the local, national, and EU levels, and to reinforce collaboration between search and rescue teams and cultural heritage experts. This initiative is not limited to theory. It includes practical, field-based implementation. A full-scale exercise was conducted in Bursa, one of Turkey's most important cultural centers, at the historically, religiously, and architecturally significant site, the first Murad Hüdavendigar Mosque.
Daha sonra üstte çıkmamız lazım ama şu an üstte üzerinden şu an bir hazmat kontrolümüzü yapalım. Hazmat kontrolünden sonra tekrar bir keşif yaparı değerlendiririz. Tamam. İCORP isteyelim. İCORP ekibini isteyelim. Çünkü bunlar da gelsin çünkü kültürel varlık. Evet.
The core scenario of the exercise is based on the following assumption: an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.9 strikes along the Uluabat fault line in Bursa, causing structural damage to the first Murad Hüdavendigar Mosque. As a result, individuals inside the mosque are injured, and movable cultural assets are buried under the debris. This is where the emergency response begins. Safe approach and hazmat control teams first secure a safe approach to the incident site. Hazardous materials are assessed and controlled. Hazmat units are deployed to respond to potential chemical, biological, or explosive threats, ensuring the safety of all response personnel prior to further operations.
Fatih ve İbrahim, geç abi hemen şeritlemeye başla, bölgeyi biliyorsun. Arkadaşlarımız, malzemeciler hemen geçsin. Çadır kurucular onlar da hemen geçsin. Çadır üstünde.
Once safety is ensured, the incident site management plan is activated. Response vehicles are positioned in designated zones, technical equipment is unloaded, and operational tents are set up. A central coordination hub is established. Team leaders assign tasks, and communication lines are established. All units are deployed to their defined sectors, fully ready for operations. Because in a disaster zone, effective intervention is not driven solely by courage. It is guided by planning, coordination, and discipline. Proper deployment prevents time loss, avoids conflicts between teams, and ensures operational safety. Establishing order in a chaotic environment is the first step towards saving lives.
29.1.3111 Doğu.
Following the completion of technical deployment and safety measures, the canine search unit is deployed to the site. A trained search dog is guided into the debris zone via a designated safe route. These scent-sensitive dogs are capable of detecting live human scent and will bark to signal a potential victim's presence. However, according to established protocols, a single detection is not considered sufficient. A second dog is deployed to the same area for confirmation. If the second dog also identifies the same location, the area is officially marked as a live victim zone and cordoned off with safety tape. This dual confirmation method eliminates false alarms and enhances the reliability of the subsequent technical search phase. Once the canine search is complete, the unit withdraws from the field and the operation proceeds with auditory, visual, and technical search teams. Teams are directed to the confirmed live detection zone. The area is first scanned using verbal commands to detect any audible responses from trapped individuals beneath the debris. Next, a marked search is conducted, during which sensitive zones are cordoned off to define the sectors where technical teams will operate. This process is followed by an advanced technical search using specialized equipment. Fiber optic cameras, thermal imaging devices, and high-sensitivity acoustic sensors are deployed to scan the interior of the damaged structure. The objective is twofold: to accurately locate trapped individuals and to detect movable cultural assets buried beneath the rubble with minimal disturbance.
Hassas dinleme yapılacak. Lütfen sessizliği sağlayalım. Hassas dinleme yapılacak. Sessizliği sağlayalım.
the identified zones are geolocated and documented. From this point onward, critical data is provided to the heavy rescue and cultural heritage protection teams who will operate on site. This entire process lays the groundwork for a safe and controlled intervention, ensuring that no additional harm is inflicted on either human life or cultural assets.
Cihazıyla kazazedenin yerini tespit ettik. Onun yerini tekrar teyit etmek için radar cihazıyla yerindeki sonraki yeri tespit edeceğiz. Arkadaşlar kazazedenin yerini tespit ettik. Şu an kaldırma yastıklarıyla kaldırıp tablayı altından kazazedeyi alacağız. Şu anda enkaz altını tespit ettik. Radar cihazıyla da enkaz altında kazazedenin yaşayıp yaşamadığını onu da tespit ettik. Şu anda 1.80 metre derinlikten kaldırma yastıklarıyla kaldıracağımız yerde radar cihazıyla tespit ettiğimiz bir adet canlımız mevcut. Kurtarma operasyonuna geçiyoruz.
Domuz taklimatıyla kazazede'ye ulaşıldı. Kazazede'nin yanında kültürel varlık olduğu devletinden bir tabloya ulaştık. Bunun için de bir tane koruma uzmanına ihtiyacımız var.
Once the auditory and technical search confirms the presence of both an injured individual and a cultural asset beneath the debris, ICORP, the International Council on Monuments and Sites Emergency Response Group, is formally invited to the scene by the presidency of AFAD. Upon arrival, ICORP experts conduct a rapid assessment using building schematics, cultural inventory records, and established conservation protocols they have brought with them. Intervention is then planned with careful consideration of the structural condition, architectural integrity, load-bearing elements, and the precise location of the cultural asset within the damaged site.
Sizlerden görüş talep etmek. Desteklemenin nasıl olacağı konusunda yardımınıza ihtiyaçımız var.
Bir şeyimiz var, planlarımız var. Eski planlarımızda da yardımcı olacağını tahmin ediyoruz. İsterseniz
Bu planlarından ziyade bizim tahkimat çalışmalarımızın arkadaşlarımızın destekleyeceği unsurların unsura zarar vermemesi adına yerinde görmesini talep ediyoruz.
Bir şey var ama tam da olduğunu çözemedik. Onu da kamerayla bakıp yapacağız.
Şu an baş kısmı. Evet. Baş kısmı bize doğru gelmiş vaziyette.
Evet.
İleri istikamette.
ICORP not only provides scientific guidance, but also directly integrates into field operations by coordinating with search and rescue teams. This ensures that every step taken in the field is planned to uphold both operational effectiveness and the safety of cultural assets. The ICORP specialists assess the structural damage and analyze the location of cultural materials, developing a site-specific intervention strategy. This plan adheres to international heritage protection protocols and is executed in full coordination with AFAD. Structural hazards are identified, access routes are secured, and the rescue operation is steered in a way that safeguards both human lives and cultural heritage.
Şunu yapmamız gerekiyor. Bizim normalde çalışma şartlarımız belki ilk yardım müdahalesi gerekebilir. Kurtarmacının çalışabileceği bir yüksekliğe ulaştırdıktan sonra kazazedeyi en uygun taşıma yöntemine çıkartacağız orada. Ama öncelikle hiç müdahale etmeden, yani durumunun ne olduğunu bilmiyoruz. Belki açık yarası var. Bunu yerinden çıkartmadan bizim kurtarma personelinin çalışabileceği olan 6 santimetre yüksekliğe ulaştırıp tablamızın peşinden sağlık ekibi gelecek, kontrolünü yapacak ve sonra en uygun olan kurtarma yöntemiyle oradan alacak.
ICORP experts formulate the intervention strategy on site based on structural blueprints and document-based risk analyses. An operational plan is developed with the goal of evacuating both human life and movable cultural assets safely, while preserving the authenticity of the historical structure. Under the coordination of the AFAD Bursa Provincial Directorate, search and rescue teams proceed in accordance with this plan. Temporary structural shoring is applied to sections at risk of collapse. Support columns, tensioning ropes, and stabilizing elements are deployed to reinforce the structure and to establish safe working corridors for the response teams. Once the structural shoring is completed, the first response is directed toward the identified casualty. The injured individual is secured onto a stretcher and carefully evacuated from the structure using a rope and pulley system. At the base, a medical team stands ready to receive and administer care. Using the same shoring corridor, a technical specialist is elevated to reach the movable cultural asset. Following the protection protocols outlined by ICORP, the asset is accessed, placed into a custom transport container, and carefully lowered to the ground, where it is formally handed over to ICORP experts. This entire process was executed in a controlled, disciplined, and coordinated manner, taking into account both structural risks and the integrity of the cultural asset. The exercise conducted in Bursa was not merely a standard search and rescue operation, but a reflection of interdisciplinary coordination, conscious intervention for cultural heritage, and collaboration rooted in international standards. The scenario was realistic: an earthquake, a damaged historical building, a trapped casualty, and an endangered cultural artifact. The response was strategic. Under the coordination of AFAD Bursa Provincial Directorate, technical teams, search and rescue units, and ICORP specialists mobilized in a step-by-step deployment. Safety was ensured, structures were reinforced, lives were saved, and memory was protected. Because post-disaster response does not end with saving lives. It requires preserving identity, heritage, and values. This exercise demonstrated not only what needs to be done, but how and with whom it should be done. The field implementation of the ProcultherNet2 project has illuminated the future of cultural emergency response in Turkey through the joint efforts of local, national, and international stakeholders. And it reminded us, being prepared for disasters means protecting not only buildings, but our collective memory. Because preserving the past is a responsibility we owe to the future.